All right. Well, hello and welcome everybody on StreamYard. I'm gonna get it started here in a second. One moment. Bear with me, and I'm getting my webinar ready here.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right. Hello and welcome everybody on today's presentation. My name is Claudia Eifert, and I am welcoming all you guys from of course, those different social media platforms you're logging in. That is YouTube, that is Facebook, Instagram, and some of you guys here via webinar. Fantastic to have you all on board tonight to this presentation. We're going to do a little bit of a different sort of improvised presentation because I feel like it. No, because I think it's good. We have certainly today hit a milestone in the precious metals market. We want to talk about this a little bit. But I know we have a lot of new people on the call. You have no idea what we're going to talk about, and you may have been invited to this presentation not really knowing, or maybe just have been introduced briefly, so to get you a little bit of a better understanding, I'm just going to play a very short video so that you have a little overview, and after that I'm going to have our founder and CEO coming on board to this presentation, and we're going to discuss some great things here which I believe are going to be from great benefit to you. So let me just go ahead and play this video. I hope my internet is strong enough here in Germany, so bear with me 1 second. There you go. We are ready. I just need to play it.
How would you like to be your own boss? Be able to plan your own time and be in control of every minute of your life? Well, it's very possible, and with Utopian Global, you can achieve it as quick as you snap your fingers. The Utopian Global ecosystem allows you to multiply your income exponentially and diversify your assets by converting them into precious metals like gold and silver. This helps you eliminate the risk of inflation and devaluation associated with fiat currency. After all, if it's good enough for governments and central banks to hold their reserves in gold, then why shouldn't you? Besides the gold and silver, we also give you the possibility to participate in STORE. STORE, sustainable technology and resource holdings, is backed by real assets that power the world. By owning STORE, you get to enjoy the rewards from the income generated by the STORE assets. These assets include legacy energy resources in the Raccoon Bend field located in Texas, USA. Our second phase is addressing the plastic crisis and creating opportunity with Polystream Technologies plastics to fuel process. The production, proliferation, and disposal of single-use plastics is a crisis of truly global proportion. That's not all. With our Lucrative Partners program, you can earn rewards and commissions when you share our message and services with others, as well as qualify for bonuses such as luxury travel and paid holidays. Our affiliates also get premium wealth education and coaching, as well as access to webinars and marketing materials. You don't have to break the bank to start with Utopian Global. With as low as €99, you can become an independent business owner and start increasing your income by joining our global network. Remember, everyone who spread the word about Utopian Global 2 results in you multiplying your own assets, doing good for the planet, and increasing your payouts. Don't forget to visit our website at utopianglobal.com to learn more. The time to get in is now. Utopian Global. Real assets, real income, real lifestyle.
Great. Well, I hope this was loud and clear for all you guys on the webinar today and on live stream, so that you got a little bit of a grasp of an overview what we are doing here. Now, you know, of course, most people, it's a very changing time, and so a lot of challenges for people is no money, no savings. They live paycheck to paycheck, and of course, lots of students, they have high student loan. Personal credit card debt is at staggering amounts. I mean, artificial intelligence intelligence will automate and eliminate 40% of the jobs in the next 15 years. So if you think, of course, today you may studying for a job that or in a special industry, that maybe industry is not anymore there when you finished your studies. And so there's lots of things going on right now in the world, and Bill will come in a second here on the call where we're going to discuss some things on what's going on right now and how you can, of course, prepare. Now, 85% of the people who of course, still are in a job, they are unhappy, they're unfulfilled, they don't really like what they are doing. So if you ever felt like you were meant for more, what if there was actually a way for you to build a better life, a life where, you know, you can experience more happiness and fulfillment? And this is what we want to really challenge you today. If presented with the right opportunity, what area of your life would you like to better? Would it be finances? I guess most people say yes. Would it be time? Lots of people say yes to that. Or would you like to have a better lifestyle? And I can tell you what, most people look for a better lifestyle. Well, let me ask you that. What is your financial game plan? Work more at your job? You're already working a lot and trade your time for money? Or better to save for a currency which is losing value? Become self-employed? Again, have less time ever, or become a business owner and have a system, own a system that actually works for you. See, there's two types of income. Most people, they are in the labor-based income. They're trading their time for a currency which is losing value. Or there's an asset-based income. We want to really show you how to get involved in asset-based income through Utopian Global. And that is where money now works for you. And this is where only 5% of the population are in. And we're going to demonstrate you how you can actually have asset-based income. Now, there's nothing wrong with labor-based income. I mean, you know, it's good to work. Just you got to work smarter instead of harder. So with Utopian Global, you now have the power really to instantly grow and build your wealth through an easy platform that protects everyone's future with a medium of exchange that really has stood the test over time, which is silver and gold, but also a platform where you can earn residual rewards from income producing assets. And we're going to talk about that. And a platform where you can get paid for something you do actually for free. You see, Utopian Global, the ecosystem is all about ownership of real assets that make you a real income so that you have a real lifestyle. So gold and silver, I know there's a lot of talk right now in the news, in the media about that, but gold and silver is really a wealth protection. It's a safe haven, it's a safeguard because of your labor, you trading your time for giving your labor, that it doesn't lose its value, because in the current economic system it does. And store, of course, the income producing assets. We're going to talk about that crowdfunding platform where we crowdfund, of course, money so that we can then buy great assets which produce income. And of course, we're going to talk about the education platform and e-commerce, a very, very key, what also you get here with this system if you decide so. But let's look at the overview what Utopian Global actually does. Well, Utopian Global is really ever growing and ever expanding. See, we're driven to develop cutting edge products and services that are in high demand markets. I think gold right now is the most demanded product on earth, and capitalize on current global economic trends and future emerging markets and trends. So the $170 billion gold industry, well, through Utopian Global, you now have an entry into it. Same for $20 billion silver industry, or for a 1.7 trillion oil industry. What if you could be on the supply side of oil instead of on the consumer side of oil? Blockchain, of course, the digital backed assets industry, and of course the social sharing industry, because let's face it, we all got stuck home. What do? We flip through Instagram, through social media, and most likely we have recommended a service or product and service, but we just didn't get paid for. Why not getting paid for? And of course, many other things to come as we move ahead. Now, let me bring Bill on the call now, because we want to do a little bit of improvised webinar tonight here because I think the time is really ripe. Bill, you are on the call, so I want to introduce the founder and CEO of Utopian Global, who he himself is a precious metals licensed dealer in Dubai, in the DMCC in Dubai, the Dubai Multi-Commodity Center, and has many years of experience in gold, precious metals, sits there at the hotspot of precious metals. Bill, welcome to the call, and you're going to move us through those slides in gold, silver, why, and of course, what's going on and why people should be in this, what we are doing.
Hi, Claudia. It's great to be here. Welcome to everyone joining us from various parts of the world. Well, it's very simple, actually. Why gold, why silver? Getting an echo, Claudia, just so that you know.
Oh, okay. So I may try to change my audio then. 1 second, yes? You go and you can go ahead.
Okay. Well, for me, it's a very simple concept. The currencies that we have around the world, this is paper currency. You've got anything from Swiss francs here, euros, Australian dollars, US dollars, well, it's just paper. And the longer you hold on to this stuff, the less it's going to buy. As simple as that. I know that you've given some examples, but I'll give you a quick example. 1971, a medium-sized house in the US would cost $25,000 US, or the equivalent of around 700 ounces of gold, 700 of these. In 2020, the same house will cost you $280,000 as a medium-sized home in the US, $280,000 versus $25,000, but you need only 300 ounces of these. That is why precious metals is wealth preservation. And that's what we need to understand. And during economic, financial circumstances like we're seeing around the world right now, this is the time. Actually, it's never the time really to be out of gold. I mean, you've been yourself, Claudia, a buyer of gold and silver you've been involved for 12 years. So each month you just put a little bit of your paper savings from your commissions into a bit of gold and silver automatically to buy your gold and silver. So you buy it. You buy it on the dips. You buy it a little bit on the ups, on the dips, on the ups. And over a long period of time, you're accumulating real value. While this stuff's losing value, this stuff here, gold, is preserving the wealth. And the same with silver. And of course, we just saw today, of course, silver unbelievably went up about 6% today. It broke $21. And of course, gold's only a few percent away from its all-time high of $1,920, which hit in 2011. You know, we never ever get into the exact lows. We never get into the exact highs. But what it's really telling us is that our paper currencies is losing buying value. It's as I said, the longer you hold it, the less goods and services it's going to buy. You need to diversify a bit of that into into a safe haven, and gold and silver is that safe haven. Now it's going to be volatile, the markets. You know, gold, silver went up to $21 today. It could be back to 18 tomorrow. We just don't know. It's how volatile the markets can be. But the trend, many of the experts believe the trend is a long-term bullish trend that's starting off again, as it did maybe in 2001. And to give you an idea, in 2001, I think silver was just over $4, maybe $5. Gold was at $255 an ounce. And of course, from that, I think gold did about 7 to 8 times the price. And of course, silver did about 10x. So that's where I believe I'm a long-term holder of gold and silver. But again, it's a small part of your portfolio. You need to understand it. It's not a investment in one sense. It's just wealth preservation. But there's some if you're a long-term investor or holder of it over a long period of time, I think you're all going to do very well out of it. Great thing about it is it's highly liquid as well. Central banks around the world hold and are buying gold and silver, especially Russia, Turkey, China specifically. So you've got to ask yourself, why do central banks own precious metals? Because they give us this paper stuff, and at the same time, they're actually hoarding gold themselves. So that's a good hint why we should be doing it as well.
Now, Bill, of course, gold and silver, we always said, there's 1 ounce of gold is 12 ounces of silver. Well, right now, this ratio is totally out of sync. Most people don't really understand or get what it means. But of course, silver obviously hasn't done the run like gold has done. Do you have any explanation to that or something you want to add?
Yeah, well, you're right to what you say. Historically, there's always been a ratio of how many ounces of silver it's taken to buy an ounce of gold. And you can go back to the 1980 high. It was approximately, I think it came back to about 16 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. In the 2011 high, it was about 32 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. Now, only about a month ago, it was about 113 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. What does it mean today? Well, today it's probably, just thinking off the top of my head, it's probably around about 93 to 1. So as we see this ratio come back into alignment, whether it goes back to 30, whether it goes back to 16, it just means there's going to be a lot of price movement. Now, many people believe that gold, because of what's happening in central banks around the world, there's a lot of monetary expansion going on through the Federal Reserve. We see trillions of dollars being printed there. We see the European Union just announced just under $1 trillion worth of bailout money for the COVID-19 for the EU nations from the European Central Bank. So as you expand this monetary supply, it means this stuff's even going to buy less. Now, many people predict that gold over the next years, and it can move quite fast actually, once it breaks its 2011 high of 1,920, we're only a few percent off that, maybe 5% off that. The next target could be 2,900 to 3,000. Then let's just assume gold goes to 3,000. I believe it will over the years to come. How fast it will be, I really don't know. It could be the next 12 months. It could be the next 5 years. I don't know, but I know it's heading that way. So if gold was at $3,000 an ounce, and we get back to, let's say we only get back to a ratio of 32 to 33 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold, gold's at 3,000. We're looking at a silver price anywhere from $85 to $90, and right now it's at just hit $21. This year it's already up over 40%. Silver in March, I think it was around about $12.40. So it's moved. We've had over a $7 movement already in silver this year. So you people who are silver holders have done exceptionally well. And of course, silver was at $50 in 2011. It was at $50 back in 1980. It's certainly going to hit $50 again. Again, when? I don't know. But I'm a long-term holder of this, and I diversify my savings into the precious metals. And I think it's a good thing to do. It's a wise thing to do. I'm not suggesting at all you should sell your house and put everything in the gold and silver. That would be foolish. It's a small part of anyone's holding, but it's highly liquid. So it means you need to convert your gold or silver back to paper, because we do live in a paper world to pay bills and different things. Our program that we have, the Utopian Global, makes it very easy for our members to be able to do around the world. It's highly liquid.
And then that's one of the points I was always talking to people as well is like it's good to buy physical. I mean, as you know, of course, I have physical here. Well, you anyway have physical, meaning physical, having it shipped. That's what I mean. That's always great. But let's be honest. We're living in a very changing world. So the world has certainly gotten a little bit more dangerous with all those riots going on, with all that stuff going on in the world. So I don't want to really have all my gold and silver at home. I rather prefer it, and I make this point very often, to have it safely stored in Switzerland and Dubai. Well, Switzerland, foremost because, Switzerland, it's 700 years, hasn't been in any war. So I always say the good, the bad, and the really bad people, they all save they all store their wealth in Switzerland. Why do they do? Well, because it is secure. So this is a big point. I always want to do it, but I also, as you said, we want to be liquid. So when in times, of course, you need it and you wish to get out of it, you got to stay liquid. I mean, you got to have means that very easily you actually can, of course, trade it in for either Bitcoin or either, of course, have it sent to your bank via bank transfer. Via, of course, Bitcoin is the cheaper way because it's just, any bank transfer, of course, costs a little bit more money to send it, but Bitcoin is cheap. But this is why it's so key, because if you have to, let's say you have your gold and then you have to go to the post office, then ship it back to, of course, Utopian Global, that they give it back to the refinery, that they melt it down. There's a longer process to it. You could also go to any pawn shop dealer and then sell it back. And of course, they know, they recognize the Arca Horarius stamp on it. They know that's the best gold in the world. But still, you know, they need to have their commission. So the most effective way is actually to have it in a platform that is really super easy, where you have 24/7 access, you have easy liquidation. And of course, if you wish, you have LBMA good delivery, you have secure private LBMA vaulting, and so on. So you all have that. But the great thing is, because you really deserve free, transparent, and unlimited access to your assets, you have a platform now where you can actually do so. And this is what I love so much about it. That's why I convert, of course, my commission into more gold and silver continuously, actually, almost now on a and before also on a weekly, at least a weekly basis. Why? Well, because it is, of course, the best hedge against inflation. But Bill, before you, of course, before we move into, of course, a store, which we want to talk about as well. Now, right now, we are obviously in a phase of unprecedented money printing. So never in history has there been so much money printed. We just talked about the EU now approving another bill. People don't really understand what it means. So we have a lot of new people on the call. They never really have gotten involved with gold or silver. They don't really get it. They don't really understand it. Can you just, in very simple terms, explain what has the money printing to do, the expansion of the monetary system, with, of course, precious metals?
Okay, well, it's probably a complex question, actually, Claudia, but in summary, what people need to understand is this paper wealth, regardless of whether it's the Swiss francs, euros, whatever it might be, it's just paper. It's just colored paper. This is backed by nothing. Whether I print a $1 US note, whether I print, I don't know, they have $500 notes or $1,000 notes in America, but it doesn't matter the size of the value of the note on paper. There's no real value associated with it. There's no intrinsic value backing that. Up until 1971 in America, of course, when we speak about the reserve currency, the US dollar, it was backed by gold partially, and all other currencies were pegged to the US dollar. So there was some intrinsic value behind it. But since 1971, that has vanished. And of course, we've seen governments like to spend. They like to make promises to get voters, of course, so they spend beyond their means, and of course they print money, which into an economy, but the economies aren't growing. That's the problem. So you have an expansion of the monetary supply in a stagnant economy, which means you're going to need a lot more money to buy the same amount of goods and service. In essence, to cut a long story short, if you print money, issue more money into a monetary supply system, and the economies are not growing, you're going to cause inflation, and that's really what's going to happen. Now, there's always a lag time to it, of course, but believe you me, it's happening. And I think people around the world who actually do the shopping, grocery shopping, or actually pay utility bills certainly know that the money buys them less over time. You just got to ask yourself the question, did $100 or 100 rupees, whatever it might be, does it buy less or more than what it did a year ago or 2 years ago? And the answer to everyone around the world will be, of course, my money doesn't go as far as it used to. My shopping trolley is getting less and less with the same amount of money. That's really the answer to it. Now, gold itself, throughout history, has been wealth preservation. Why is that actually? Why does gold preserve wealth? Well, gold has, to get an ounce of gold out of the ground into this form, first of all, just to find an ounce a gram, so 1 troy ounce, which is 31.103 grams. In fact, most mines, even very successful mines, probably have less than 25 or 20 grams of gold per metric ton. So it's very, very rare gold in that sense. And it takes a lot of money to be able to extract it out and refine it into the purity that it is. So in that sense, that's why gold is money. It has been for 5,000 years, and that's why central banks hoard gold as a stable financial, instrument in all of their financial, I was going to say pyramid, which primarily it is, but the gold is at the base of that pyramid, giving it stability, and it's been doing that for hundreds of years, in fact thousands of years. So what I'm talking about here is for you to keep things very simple. For us people, of course, if you see central banks buying gold, and we know that our paper money buys less, it's just common sense that you don't build wealth by saving in paper. You build wealth by taking your labor. You trade your time, which is labor. You get paid in that paper currency. You take that paper currency. You don't want to just put that in the bank. It's going to go backwards. What you want to do is put it into real assets. Now, it could be real estate. It could be businesses, which generated income. It could be products like programs like we have at Store, asset-backed digital token that we have with Store. And it could be gold as well, or silver, which is really wealth preservation. So it's diversification, but you're diversifying in real assets, something that's absolutely real, preserves wealth, and of course, when it comes to Store, it's something that's going to generate another source of income.
And the great thing, Bill, is on gold or silver, it never goes to zero. Correct?
No, of course not. It never has. I mean, gold, people say gold's up or gold's down. Really, it's just a reflection of the strength of the paper currencies. But it's not about how much. This is where people get confused. It's not about how much the price of really gold is. It's what you actually get for your ounce of gold, or what you get for your $100 today versus what you're going to be able to buy with $100 a year from now, or 5 years from now, or 10 years from now, versus the ounce of gold. The truth of the matter is, all this paper currency I have in my hand now, between now and 2030, I'm going to need double of this just to buy the same amount of goods and services of what I do today. Because the rule of thumb is every 10 years, we lose half of our purchasing power of our currencies. And just go back yourself and have a look at your environment where you are. Look at real estate prices. Look at the cost of living. Look at the cost of utilities. Look at the cost of food items. But if you look at gold and silver, it's actually been giving us a higher yield, a higher unit of value year over year for many, many, many years. And of course, if you look, I think I put a chart up today on Facebook showing the performance of currencies since 2001, I think it is, to 2020. And gold is just way ahead of all currencies in that respect. But most people, of course, don't understand gold. They just compare it to the value of a US dollar or the euro, and they don't compare it to how many cups of coffee I can buy, or how many bags of potatoes I can buy, how many gallons of gasoline I can buy. That's really what it's about. And with currency, paper currency, that you buy less and less over time, whereas gold and silver, you actually preserve that. In fact, we spoke the other day, Claudia, that you can go back to the US in 1966, an ounce of silver, a quarter, there's many people in the US here, so a quarter in America in the 1960s used to contain 5.6 grams of silver. And back then, you could actually buy yourself a gallon of gasoline with 1 quarter. Well, today, you can't get yourself a gallon of gasoline. That's going to cost you probably $3 or $2.50 a gallon, something like that. So you need many, many quarters. But the same 5.6 grams of silver is still going to buy you the same gallon of gasoline today. That's the power of what precious metals actually do. And that's why gold and silver has been money for 5,000 years.
Absolutely. I mean, you're spot on. And in fact, I always, on my calls, I always talk about the ice cream index, which I have, which is I love ice cream. So just today, they raised the price of my ice cream. I'm paying now 20 cents more than I just paid yesterday. So yes, at the same time, of course, or if I would change it in gold or silver, of course, I would get more ice cream for it. So I have my little ice cream index. But we were talking about Store, of course, which you also did touch on, our income producing assets. Which, of course, we since early 2019, actually late 2018, this project was launched. This was an idea actually by you to build the Store platform, and it is, of course, managed by Ryan Messer. Another great, of course, amazing project. Do you want to touch a little bit on that?
Well, I mentioned before about buying into real assets, and that's what you, as being a store owner, that's exactly what you've done. I mean, I met Ryan Messer in 2004, and through Philip Judge. Many people on the school are familiar with the story, but I went to Switzerland in 2003, met a bullion banker, Philip Judge. He introduced me to gold and silver. He also introduced me to an energy fund, actually. And as a result of that meeting, I flew to the US, to Louisiana, Baton Rouge, and I visited various assets, oil and gas sites. I met the team headed by Ryan Messer, who was running a public company at that particular time. I very much enjoyed the team and their experience, and obviously I understood the whole concept. Here I am. I just sold one of my hotels in Australia, actually, and I wanted to have I realized that I need to invest some of the earnings into other assets. If I don't, it's just going to go backwards. I didn't want to hold that money in the bank. So I invested some of that into an energy fund, which you did a couple of years later, Gladdy, when I introduced that fund to you. And some people in different parts of the world, even on this call, their parents did it as well. But primarily you're investing in real assets, and those assets, of course, are generating revenues, and that's why I did it. And that's exactly why I invested in Store. Now, Store, we've actually owned. Store is actually a digital share in one sense on the blockchain, but the important part about it is it's not so much the blockchain. The important part about it is that a couple of things. One is you have a legal document called the Private Placement Memorandum Document, which gives you legal ownership in a US company called Source Rock Energy Partners. And as a Store owner, you'll see that certificate in your back office. It says how many digital shares called Store that you actually own. So you own equity in this particular asset. And we've owned this asset since we bought 12% of this field back in, we actually settled on the 1st of August in last year. So we're coming on to 1 year. And at the end of this month, the financials, and the end of next month, the financials are all audited. We're going to start doing our distributions out to our members. They've done quite a bit of work on this site. This site's actually, this photo doesn't really do it much justice. It looks just quite simple, doesn't it? This old head of a well there, pump. But that's this site's 5,600 acres. There's actually 156 wells. Over about 97 of these wells are producing. Some come up, more of them will come back, and some will drop off for maintenance. That's how it actually works. But this has reserves. The management team that manages this particular asset, they're also engineers and geologists. They've been part owners in this asset since 2001, 2002. In fact, over 80% of the owners in this asset are industry insiders, which is when it comes to risk management. When I realized who was owning this particular asset and who was managing it, of course, you want to do it with people who, number one, it's their industry, it's their expertise, and of course, they have skin in the game as well. So it's a relatively low risk, long-term yielding asset for us. It's going to be producing for the next 25 years, so it's going to be fantastic.
Bill, okay. Go a little bit more to the microphone because you were just dropping out a little bit. But yes, we heard you. Fantastic. Yes, and exactly. So we have a timeline, of course, for that. So we started, as Bill said, in November 2018 with a crowdfunding platform, where, of course, all what we had was the intellectual property and, of course, the people behind and, of course, what we wanted to purchase. And then through the first raise of the funds, the first small asset was purchased, and then we could settle on in August, of course, in that asset in Raccoon Bend, and of course, as per board in November last year, 2019, it was decided that the first year, because of the reparations which has to be done, and of course the new drillings which had to be done, the first year was actually reinvestment. So we are all, of course, looking forward to now receiving these first revenues, of course, from these great assets. But of course, there's lots of plans on the go with other projects, such as, of course, mineral mining, Polystream, and so on. And of course, eventually a target listing that we launch on an exchange when the markets are right, when, of course, the different projects have been accomplished, of course, so that we can list that on an exchange and hopefully make either a multiple for you guys or, of course, you're going to benefit from the revenue which is actually produced. So it's a really, really exciting project. It's a long-term project. It is not short-term project. But I believe, the times we are hitting in is really, really going to be really fantastic. And of course, you're working on many projects as well over there in Dubai. So we're looking forward for that as well. But yes, so this is really, really great. Now I'm going to just very quickly move over here before we, of course, close this out and do some Q&As, very quickly bring up, of course, the board here of Store. That is Ryan Messer. Bill was talking about. He's the founder and the CEO of Store. And of course, together with his team of advisors and different people, they are, of course, leading this great company Store, where, of course, Utopian Global, we are actually doing the marketing for the company. So most people, of course, they ask, well, how can I get started? How can I benefit from the gold or silver? How can I get into Store? Well, again, most people, they actually start as customers. They either from as little as 25 euros, get on a savings plan or on an asset accumulation plan with gold or silver. Of course, they can buy anything outright, whatever they wish. There's no limitations to what you wish to buy. And from Store, from as little as 50 euro. And this is how you can get in. And this is what most people do. They understand, well, they need to be diversified. And of course, precious metals and income producing assets is the way to go now. Unfortunately, Store is not available in the United States, but of course you have gold and very soon a different product. Or of course you can choose to be your own boss. In fact, you see, as Bill Gates, like him or not, he, of course, is the chief from Microsoft, or he has, of course, built this company. And he said many, many years ago, look, if your business is not on the internet, then you will be out of business. So if we have a platform for you, an e-commerce platform that's so simple, we provide basically the tools, the system for you, and all what you do the sharing. And that's what I said. You're anyway on your phone all day long, in fact, so why not getting paid for sharing? And Robert Kiyosaki, of course, he always says the richest people in the world build networks. Everyone else is trained to look for work. So with Utopian Global, we have a simple financial rewards program where, you basically, if you decide to start your own e-commerce platform, again, most people become customers. Why? Well, because they want to get involved in the products, but then some people, they wish to actually create their own economy and build their own business. So they're welcome to do so with our easy to share program. Simple, you get started. You buy into your business, you be on a 50 euro monthly auto ship program, or really asset accumulation program, meaning accumulating assets month for month. And you will receive, of course, anytime you share it with customers, your retail bonuses, right? Or you decide, well, you know what, I don't want to just be an affiliate and just getting customers. I also want to branch out. I want to also build the business. And you become a business builder and you unlock more bonuses. Very, very simple. Just as like McDonald's, of course, he invented, the owner invented, of course, McDonald's, and you have this franchise, but then, of course, they have many franchises all around the world. And of course, who comes to those franchises? Customers. So here you can basically, through our business builder program, open all kinds of franchises all over the world. That's why I call it global business. And all you do, basically sharing it from your phone. Or you become a pro business builder, and that means simply you are now really focusing more of your efforts on building out this business and helping your people, of course, do the same. And then, of course, you unlock different bonuses and commissions, which I'm not going to go into it right now because we want to keep it short and smooth. And we, of course, have special training for that. So it's really simple. As an affiliate, you select the package you wish to buy, commit to a 50 euro monthly asset accumulation plan, and earn, of course, whenever you share the products and services. So in the non-US market, the packages for the business building, they contain Store. In the US market, they contain gold and silver. But of course, they contain more. So those are your entry packages into your business. That means you get your gold or silver precious metals platform where you actually can buy wholesale your gold or silver. You have no fees when you're actually gonna sell back your precious metals. You have already your everything included when it comes to the LBMA storage, so you don't pay a fee. You have your marketing platform, your sales funnels, all is done for you, and of course your coaching, your premium education coaching program, which you also get. So you get basically business in the box, and this is from S99 to 3,500. Obviously, as higher the package, as more goes towards the assets. Now we also have what we call investors packages, and they start from 9,000 euro up to 1 million. And in these packages, more or most of it, in fact, goes into the actual assets. So that is how we have designed, of course, our packages. But the great thing is with starting the business, you really get everything you need to help you to succeed, to build your extra income. That is your replicated website, your state-of-the-art back office marketing funnels, video multimedia tools, world-class coaching, training calls, events, experienced executive team, global business, and so on. So you get really a lot out of it. So for literally €1 a day, you have available an opportunity where you can have ownership in real income producing assets, real wealth protection, a savings and accumulation plan denominated in real assets. You can achieve infinite return, have a global online business. So you don't need to go ahead and set up offices. You don't need to go ahead and, of course, take care of the production and the shipping of the products. You don't have to do all that. It's all done for you, and you can, of course, earn residual income for your marketing efforts, and even enjoy tax benefits. So if you are here looking to pay off your debt, well, this is the company for. Maybe you're looking for saving more money, absolutely. Change lives, absolutely. Creating generational wealth which is passed on through generations. Well, we are the company for you. So the time really to build wealth with passive income starts for you today. And just a disclaimer at the end, because it's really important that Utopia Global Compensation Plan, when it comes to the business building, of course, that depends on your efforts. It pays very well, but of course, it depends on your effort. And as per terms and condition, store equity is not licensed for distribution in the United States, and the result cannot be offered, sold, or delivered there. And we have a 14 days money back guarantee. So this is what we have. It is really, really great. And I know there's lots of questions coming. I'm getting questions from YouTube. I'm getting questions from Facebook, the Facebook Lives. So that is really, really awesome. Now, Sahir is asking you a question. Please, can you explain to anyone who has come on this call, recommended by me, fantastic, Sahir, why they should do business with me? Sahir, let our founder explain that. Bill, why should they do business with Sahir?
Hi, Zahir. Well, I've had the pleasure of meeting Zahir several times. I've had the pleasure of being in his home and sitting down having dinner with him and his family, actually. He's a good person. He's a good leader. Number one is he has a heart for the people. 2, he understands gold and silver. 3, he understands that people need to generate another source of income. And it's a network. Here we are, just a community. We have real assets, but real assets by themselves, okay. You know, we've set up a program here where we all support each other. Everyone on this call is here for a particular reason. You're not here just for nice information. You actually want to bring a change to your life, don't you? Well, this is what leaders do. This is what Claudia's been doing for over 12 years now. And Zahir's been with us. We've got other people being here with us for over 10 years as well on this particular call. So so I've been doing this for 12 years with providing gold and silver, and now with the store assets. So we need marketers. We need people to share who we are. We don't advertise through normal means. It's up to our people, our community, our affiliates. If they like what we have and they want to share it with other people, when they do so, it helps generate an income, and it helps people. And then by sharing it with other people and they becoming involved, they get they get ownership of real assets, and 2, they can generate another strong source of income as they build their trusted organization with their team. So that's why, you should be working with Zahir and, of course, many other leaders on this call as well.
Yes, yeah, but so he was just talking about the people he has actually sent to this call. So yes, definitely. I mean, 9 heart attacks. You committed. You don't fail. You are here. You're very, 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 very sick. But with that, you're also very, very healthy in your mind. So you want the best for people, and so definitely, I want to go. If I was new, I would, and you would introduce me. I would basically, of course, follow your step. Why? Well, because I know even though you're so sick, you have this passion and this belief and this purpose, and I want to have that. I want to that it rubs a little bit of me. So definitely. So this is why I would, of course, follow you, because again, you're honest, ethical, and this is the kind of things we want in this world, because I believe we all have been too much living in a world which is fake. Don't they call it fake news? With too much greed. It's all about greed. I think the world is changing. I think it's a different world right now. I think we are really longing for a change. We are longing for a better world. We are longing for more community, people helping each other. I figured really we are all ripe for that. And so I believe, and this is why, for me, it's like I love so much this, because again, it's not all about the money. People always think it's all about the money. No, it's of course what money can do for you, but it's about this community. It's about really seeing people change, really seeing people grow, seeing people, learning things, and really getting challenged to think outside the box, not just what the media tells you. No, thinking outside the box. So it's this pleasure. It's this. Isn't it the most rewarding thing why do we want to gift? Why don't we want to gift somebody? Why don't we want to give a Christmas present to somebody? Why we want to do a birthday present to somebody? Because we like to enjoy this happiness of these other people, right? Well, I see this business simple. The knowledge I have gained through, of course, the education of Bill, through the education of Philip Judge, of course, Ryan, through the people, the team, that education, I didn't get it anywhere else. I wouldn't get it anywhere else. I wouldn't, I could whatever go anywhere, but I didn't. If it wasn't for them, it wouldn't have changed my life. And see, this is the things which is so key. And it's about this togetherness, this community. Together we can do things like crowdfunding with
Actually,
Store.
Claudia,
Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
sorry to interrupt you. Yes, I mean, it all sounds, for new people on this call, sounds very nice. We're a nice community. In the end, it's about making action.
Yes.
Okay. So we have.
That's what Zahir does.
About it, correct. It's all about making action. It's all about not falling victim to what's going on in the world. Okay, it's very easy to blame other people with what circumstances we have in our life, and we have victim. And everyone, we have clients and members from involved all over the world, and people are in different situations. So being involved with a strong community or strong leadership with real assets, having the ability to generate another income can really help people change their lives. And that's really what it's about. And we've made this cost effective for actually all people, regardless of really what income level you're on. As I always say, you can, for less than a cup of coffee a day, you get ownership of a global business. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are in the world. You refer it to someone else, you're going to get paid, and also you get ownership of real assets. That's the simplicity of it. Never fall victim to what's going on in the world. Be strong, be focused, be grounded, bond with like-minded people who want to get ahead in life, regardless of what's going on out there. Because it's times like now, when all this negativity is going on, where great transfers of wealth actually occur. We just saw silver up this year over 45%. We're seeing gold up significant as well, and it's not going to stop. So while people are playing victim and complaining this and that, there's people out there making huge amounts of changing their lives through prosperity, through different income levels and transfer of assets. This is what we want to do. So we can have compassion and we really want to help people, but be focused. This is a time to actually to achieve, regardless of what's going on in the world. And you might say, he's just talking about money. Well, the fact of the matter is, money only does two things for us. It helps us live a more comfortable life and helps us render, other opportunities and help other people. Other than that, it doesn't really do much for us. We all want to live a comfortable life. We all need a roof over our head, food on the table, and we need money to do that. And through our platform that we have here, gives you the ability to actually do that. And having great leadership from people like Claudia and many other people on this call, that's what you're getting. And it's really, you've got to ask yourself, when it comes to investments and different things, you've got to ask yourself the risk management, risk reward, okay? What's costing you a cup of coffee a day? In fact, it's less than one Starbucks a day. It's going to cost you to be involved with us to build an affiliate organization in one sense. That's all. And you can stop at any time. And we have a 14-day money-back guarantee. So ask yourself, where is the risk?
Mm-hmm.
But what is really important is that you have to do the due diligence yourself. And when you decide to go in, you've got to decide to go in for the right reasons, okay? You make the decision to come in or you make the decision not to go in. Either way, you've got to be responsible for that decision. And if you make the decision to come in, you have to learn the craft, learn what we're doing here, understand what we have, and learn how to build the business. That takes time, and that's why you have leadership. Okay, Claudia, any other questions?
Yes, there's one more question from Reggie. I don't really get it, but I think you will get it. Bill, this is maybe a little bit off, but do you see a housing bubble that is looking like the 2007 or 2010? Reggie is wanting to be in the position to capitalize on the bust.
The question is probably a bit off, Reggie.
Yes.
No, actually, it's not. Listen, we have more. If you go back and look at the statistics, forget even the housing bubble, just look at the debt levels we have today. Our debt levels that we had back in 2008 far exceed the debt levels that we have today in the world. And okay, we're talking global debt, but just think about where each of us are as individuals. Where are we today? How far have we come in our wealth and financial freedom from 2008 today? Are you more burdened with mortgage debt? Are you more burdened with credit card debt? Do you have any savings? What type of savings do you have? What type of incomes do you have? Do you have one source of income? Do you have multiple sources of income? These are the questions you need to be asking yourself, because regardless of a bubble or not, if it goes down, where are you left? What are you doing in yourself to protect yourself, to be able to hedge against or to ensure that you can protect yourself and your family? And to be able to do that, you need to have multiple sources of income. You might be an Uber driver. That's absolutely fantastic. But to be doing something on the side like this, which is costing you a cup of coffee a day to own real assets, another source of income, to me, it's a no-brainer. Share it with 3 other people. You buy a €99 package or a €390 package, share it with 3 other people. You already have your money back. Zero risk. Your assets are owned for free. Build an organization of 8 people. Your monthly investment and your asset accumulation plan is for free, and you're generating income every month, and you're building your assets every month. That's a smart plan B. Okay, so yes, the world is in a difficult situation, but you've got to ask yourself the question when you look in the mirror: what are you doing about it? It's all good to look at this information online and say, well, the world's not in a good situation. We have world debt of this, and we have all this money printing going on, and this is going on, and the food prices are going up. My income hasn't risen. Okay, we understand that. But what choices do we have? And this is what we're providing you. So what you can do is get involved with a good team of good people that provide you other opportunities. And this is Utopian Global is a great opportunity because we have real assets and we've been around for a long time. And we're going to be around for a lot longer with many great opportunities coming to the table for our members in the form of different assets as well.
Awesome. Well, with that, thank you so much, Bill, for tonight's call. It was a little bit different, but I hope that you enjoyed it. And not correct, the right knowledge, which action leads to success. That's it. Only, see, most people, this is where I think this quote from Eric Hoffer is so great. I don't know if you know this quote, but he always says in times of change, of great change, of big change, drastic change, the learners, the people who are learning that change now, they're learning, they will inherit the world, while the learned will find themselves beautifully equipped in a world that no longer exists. I mean, this quote is so powerful. I repeat it. The learners, the people who are learning, who are applying, who are taking action with that knowledge, they just get it, okay? They will, of course, inherit the world. They will do those great changes. They will participate in this great wealth transfer, while the learned, okay, while the learned will find themselves beautifully equipped in a world that no longer exists. So powerful, so true. And with that, I want to say good night. Good night to everybody. Look forward to see you on further presentations here with us, also on YouTube. And I wish you a fantastic evening. Of course, we're going to have eventually our call with Ryan Messer. We're going to announce that once this is actually happening. So with that, thank you, Bill. Have a good evening there in Dubai. And everybody on the calls and on internet, thank you as well.
Thanks, Claudia. Stay safe and well, everyone. Thank you.